Hey guys, it's Charlie. It's 29th of April, Thursday, and I wanted to talk a little bit about the week in review, I guess. The schizophrenic nature of our markets, the schizophrenic nature of our news, would tell you if you turned on the television Tuesday that we're on the verge of another Lehman-style collapse, and we're losing a couple hundred points on the Dow. If you wait a few days, the IMF and Germany, along with the rest of the EU, has figured out how to save Greece, and the contagion is handled, it's boxed up, and it's not going to spread outside of Greece, and the market rallies a couple hundred points. It's almost painful to watch, and I think that's why more people just tune out, because it's impossible to try to figure out what's going on when you're dealing with schizophrenics. And I think that's who we have reporting the news to us as far as financial news. They don't remember, the stories of yesterday. They only know what's on the teleprompter in front of them, and they're going to regurgitate that news regardless if it makes any sense or not. How can the sovereign debt of a nation suddenly be fixed because the IMF steps up and says, we're going to refinance your debt, and we're going to add to your debt, but we're going to spread it out. We're going to kick the can down the road. It's not unlike we had expert economists, renowned economists, telling us in 2008 that we must shove money at these banks. It doesn't matter that these are the banks that created the problem in the first place. These are the too big to fails that have literally failed, been turned into zombie banks. They're not worth the charter that their corporation is written on, but we're going to shove money at them, and we're going to backstop their failure. And the successful people of the nation, the people who actually go to work, pay their bills, are not behind, are not walking away, they are going to be the ones that lose. So the losers win and the winners lose, basically, is how we're supposed to view the world. And these schizophrenic reporters, along with the schizophrenic leaders we have in Washington, can look at you with a straight face and from one day to the next say, oh my God, we're imploding. Oh, don't worry, we fixed it, by promising a bunch of money that we don't have in the first place. The game continues, but it's almost maddening to watch day after day after day. 180-degree change one day from another. It's coming apart. Everything's better. The truth is very simple. No problems have been fixed. We haven't built our way out of a crisis. We haven't discovered a new magnificent energy source that's going to make a whole new economy for us. We're not putting people back to work in real jobs that we export materials and goods to the rest of the world. Our financial system is thriving, but it's on the back of trading, of proprietary trading of each other's stocks. Is there capital investment? Are we seeing banks go out and lend money for industry, or are we seeing banks trading their stock with each other? Are we seeing banks getting beyond wealthy, betting against the demise of not only companies and pensions and individual corporations, but in the demise of whole nations? Now we're seeing this with Greece. We have people that are making a fortune betting against the fact that Greece can live up to their obligations. And if you don't think that they can crash a country by doing that, then you haven't been paying attention the last couple of years. So with that being said, I came across an article today from Tyler Durden on Zero Hedge, and it basically is another world-renowned expert economist, Willem Buiter, which, expert economist is almost an oxymoron. It's oxymoronical in saying that expert economists, genius economists, these people didn't see any of it coming. They didn't see the crash coming, and their answer for it was print money, hand it out, screw the people that are doing what they should be doing, that are living their lives up to their obligations, and the people who have failed miserably, shove money at them because they're too big to fail. Willem Buiter, in this quoted article on Zero Hedge, is talking about the crisis that's facing the U.S. and the world because of sovereign debt, massive sovereign debt. Well, he blames basically our system of government. I'm going to read this quote to you. The U.S. is, in our view, a more polarized and divided society today than in any time since World War II, including the Vietnam era. Its government institutions are so encumbered by checks and balances that decisive, prompt action is only possible during times of national emergency. I mean, it couldn't get any more clear than that right there. We're not blaming. Now look, you have to, he's talking about sovereign debt issues. Government spending more than they have. Why are we spending more money than we have? It's simple. The bankers told us, do it or we're going to crash your system. $30 trillion later, in actual money or committed, you know, we're not even allowed to know how much money the Federal Reserve has bought up in troubled assets. These are secrets that we don't get to know. All we know is we're responsible for it at some point. Willem Buiter is telling us that the debts of nations like ours are out of control and it's going to lead to a crisis. But it's our government's fault, our system of government's fault, that action can't be taken. That actions only can be taken during times of emergency. Now, it's funny that even though our system of checks and balances was actually flushed down the toilet in order for bailouts to happen, in order for buying of companies like General Motors and investing and owning 60% of Citi and a big piece of AIG, basically taking over large swaths of our economy. Our checks and balances form of government wasn't a consideration then, but now that all that private debt has been thrust onto the backs of the public, now we need austerity measures, and our system of checks and balances is standing in the way of that. It's not coincidental. All you have to do is read between the lines. If it favors the bankers, the oligarchs, the elite, it happens, no questions asked, behind closed doors. When it comes time to pay the piper, we're going to be fed, spoon-fed, statements from people like Willem Buiter, people like our own Federal Reserve Chairman Ben Bernanke coming out saying our debt is out of control. Well, where was he 2 years ago creating this debt? Where was he when these oligarch bankers create all these investment schemes that they sell to their clients and bet against them, and then we have to spend trillions bailing them out? This isn't money that we had laying around. It's part of our sovereign debt right now. But now he's calling for basically austerity measures. Volcker's out there saying a VAT tax. This is coming, folks. This is what I've been talking about for a long time. When it comes to oligarchs, they're handled up front, first, foremost, made whole, made complete. It will come on the backs of the citizens of the nations of the world, so their failure can be rewarded. And we are the serfs that get to clean up their mess. The story is attached to this video, but for now, that's all I got.